I'm Anil Achyuta, and I serve as the Managing Director of TDK Ventures. It's my pleasure for the next hour or so to serve as the panel moderator. Our topic today will continue on the effect of digital transformation on mobility and future of transportation. Our panel is made up of 4 distinguished individuals on this topic, and they're eager to share their thoughts with us here. I'd like to introduce our panelists here. First, to my right is Shinpei Kato-san, the founder and CTO of Tier 4, and a co-founder and chairman of AutoWare Foundation. He also works as a project associate professor for the Graduate School of Information Science and Technology at the University of Tokyo. He's an internationally renowned expert in computer science and a pioneer in the evolution of open source software for autonomous driving technology. Welcome, Kato-san.
Thank you.
Second, we have Kozue Nakayama-san, who's an outside director at Isuzu Motors Limited. Her career in the automotive industry began immediately after her master's degree when she joined Nissan Motor Company. She eventually was named the company's deputy general manager of its global brand coordination bureau.
Yes.
She specializes in management, marketing, branding, statistics, and comparative culture. She also worked for the city of Yokohama, where she became director of its culture and tourism bureau and was named president and representative director of the city's Pacific Convention Plaza. Welcome, Nakayama-san.
Thank you very much.
To my left is Satoshi Kitazaki-san, a producer at ACE Solutions, where he develops services and products for the well-being of society, including in the area of mobility. He has served and led several Japanese international research projects looking into automated driving. And last but not least, we have, to my extreme left, Hiroko Osaka-san, head of Asian marketing of LexisNexis Intellectual Property Solutions, or LexisNexis in short. She's responsible for managing markets in Japan, Korea, China, and Taiwan. Her experiences include market intelligence, cross-border business development, technology startups, and management of global executive training programs. Welcome, Osaka-san.
Thank you, Anil-san.
And warm welcome to everyone here. Thank you for taking your time this afternoon. Our attendees include both online and in person, and both of them will have an opportunity to ask our panelists questions at the end of our discussion. Audience, please also react by emojis and post comments and questions to the chat section. Let's make this fun. Everyone ready?
Yes, yes.
All right, let's go. We'll begin with the question for Nakayama-san first.
Thank you very much.
Nakayama-san, according to Nomura Research Institute, 35% of cargo in Japan may not be delivered to the country in 2030 due to worker supply shortage. Mm-hmm. Given your deep experience from Nissan, Yokohama City, and Isuzu, how should we be tackling this challenge?
Okay, after excellent speech of Asami-san, I'm afraid of talking than my idea here. But so the after COVID-19 and after the beginning of the Russian war, we recognize that logistics would be needed more and more. This is a kind of blood flow of the society. So, so Asami-san is focusing on passenger vehicle, but I'm going to focus on logistics and commercial vehicle. And I don't have any DX support, just analog cheating paper. Yeah. Anyway, so there are main social problems in Japan. One is the aging society, as you might know, and second is depopulation. The third is centralization. Centralization means we have 3 mega cities in Japan, and so the population and prosperity is focusing on those 3 main cities. And you said Nomura research, but I propose a Boston Consulting Group research. Based on the Boston Consulting research, so-called 2027 problem, social problem in Japan. This means that we lack of around 250,000 drivers lacking in comparison with our demand. So this is a huge, huge gap. But we want to solve those social problems. We need a strong collaboration across the sectors. For example, local government, and also that automakers, IT companies, and also that urban design companies. And such kind of huge problem, it is very critical and very symbolic is a rural area in Japan. So Asami-san said Namie-machi. Namie-machi is a very, very, has had a miserable disaster by big earthquake and nuclear power plant explosion. So that Nissan has a feasibility study from the passenger perspective, but Isuzu and also that Toyota Group and IT companies and energy company has a joint venture in Namie. And so because Namie had more than 20,000 residents before the earthquake, but just after the earthquake, there is no human being, no animals there. But after over 10 years, some of the residents back to the Namie, around 2,000, just one-tenth. And so we means Isuzu and the Toyota Group and so on, try to make how to efficient logistics in this village or town. And with clean hydrogen energy. This is very important. And so I think that this is a so-called case, connected, automated, shared, electric. So this is a very important study. But I don't know how to solve such kind of you're raising problem. But I think that such kind of street smart means living lab, means try and error in the real society is very important to solve the problem. This is my idea. Okay?
Thank you very much. Maybe I can ask you about how has sort of the ADAS already solved some of these existing problems that you're talking about? Because it's one thing that we talk about level 4 autonomy, but it's another thing to talk about today's technology that we have. Maybe we could discuss the impact that ADAS has had in people and the society today.
Okay. And always convenience for the customer and efficiency for the supplier are always two opposite. And ADAS help the efficiency. But the convenience for the customer, sometimes, as Asami-san said, complicated. The place by place, the demand is different. But an ADAS can help some of the problem in the city. But at this moment, just to support the efficiency of the workers, efficiency of the drivers, could be supported by the ADAS, but not the full solution of the social problem. This is my opinion. Okay?
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Yama-san. We'll move to the next question to Kato-san. Kato-san, we know that Tier 4 is conducting experiments widely in the autonomous driving space for public transportation. Can you share some of your findings, your experiments, and your learnings in this progress?
Sure. I don't even have analog cheating papers in my hand. So I have been chairing a couple of task force projects in the government, and we have been conducting 5 years kind of long-term POC, proof of concept project, and we have found a lot of issues or solutions to go for level 4 kind of vehicles. So first, level 2, 3, and 4, we actually use leverage similar classes of technologies, but the regulations and laws are completely different. Level 2, level 3, humans in the loop, so human-machine interaction is actually more significant than just automated functions. While level 4, everything must be handled by the machine. So the most significant kind of finding from kind of past 5 years project is that if we can define a condition, including environments, weather conditions, so many, actually all details, if we can define what's the condition for L4 vehicles to operate as expected, then the government now is willing to give you a permit. That's a road permit. Another class of, say, regulation is a car regulation. So even though you have road permit, you need also go to a car regulation, which must ensure the car to be redundantly designed. So if one function with respect to automation, even if it is out of order, the secondly function must be activated in a safe manner to ensure minimum safety, so which often call it minimum risk maneuver. So when some first function fails, still the second function must be alive. But if we have kind of road permit, car regulation, then in Japan, finally, we can officially go for a public road service. It's testing, it's commercial services this year. So I think you can see a couple of companies this year who provide real level 4 unmanned vehicle services in very limited conditions. So I don't think it's in, say, Tokyo to begin with. We can start with some local places, but I'm strongly confident that this year is the first place for Japan to have a real level 4 services. And level 2, level 3 is kind of another discussion, maybe which is kind of offline topic. But for L4, level 4, this is exactly the moment that we're going to see the first commercial vehicles.
That's very exciting. Maybe I have a follow-up question here is also touches on what we talked about in the last panel session or the fireside chat is what is the right level of risk or what is the acceptable risk that one can take? It's strange because the FDA, for example, has certain acceptable level of risk on therapeutics and biologics and vaccines and things like that. The same question to you is for autonomous driving for level 4, what would be the acceptable level of risk from the regulators, or is there no guidance?
There is a guidance. So L4, how we certify the vehicle is the following. So you have to define your environment, weather condition that you're supposed to provide services, and say route or the length of the route. Very detailed information must be provided for the authority. Now, you also have to submit the bunch of test cases, and you have to invite authority to actually evaluate how the test is conducted. So it can take basically a while to get certified. But if you have test cases accepted by the authority and you also submit the results of test cases, could be simulation, could be kind of field test. There are no defined rules. So it's communication between the authority and submitter, applicant. But once this certification is given, then the level of risk that could be accepted by services must be the same level as what we do today. So we shouldn't recognize level 4 vehicles as special vehicles. We have to operate level 4 vehicles under the same guideline as the human driving vehicles.
Right, so there's no true positive, true negative, false positive, false negative rates that they give you.
We have to align with the human drivers' vehicles.
Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Maybe another follow-up question is, you see many companies in the autonomous driving space trying really hard, and fortunately or unfortunately, they're failing. What is Tier 4's sort of strategy to stay in business and to sort of get to the next level to start commercializing?
Okay, so in my opinion, it's my observation. So most of autonomous driving startups fail in technology. They can't actually even enter the market since they don't have technology. And say 10 to 20 startups or companies in the market, they have technology. So they are on the field in the market. But still we are struggling because of trade-off in quality, cost, and delivery. So their trade-off. If you want to create high-quality vehicles, you need more money, you need more time. If you prioritize cost, then you have to compromise quality. So there are trade-offs. If you can find out a balance point among these trade-offs, then even today, I think you can go to the market. So in Japan, the government has significant support to enable us to find this the best kind of optimized balancing point among the trade-offs. So they support, of course, government fund, like development, so that we can also reduce the cost. And they define certification, so we know what to do. We don't have to do something unnecessary, right? If you want to optimize the cost and time, you don't want to do something unnecessary. So the government showcased clear guidelines that tell us what to do, so we can minimize time to market or minimize the cost. And the unique approach that we take is open source. So we want to further reduce cost, time, which we don't want to build the system alone because it takes time, needs money. So we are working using open source so that basically everybody in this world can contribute to the development of this software. And we are in a kind of central point of this community to manage the quality. So using open source, you can still maintain high quality, but reduce the cost and time to market. So that's kind of unique strategy that Tier 4 is taking.
That's a golden nugget. Thank you for sharing that. So both quality and cost at the same time. Very interesting. We will move ahead to Osaka-san.
Yes.
on the IP landscape for mobility space. Osaka-san, given your expertise in this intellectual property analysis for autonomy, could you please share your insights on what you've found in the global landscape, but also within the OEM and the partner landscape? Without saying much, I'll let you describe.
Okay, thank you very much. My focus is my perspective from the patent portfolio. I'm using both slides and cheating sheets, so the line chart you're looking at. Oh, by the way, first thing first. So there are so many patents in the world, as you all know. And in order to come to this graph, what I did was that we took autonomous driving focused technology only, so grouping the technology that relates to autonomous driving. And in fact, I did not do that kind of grouping. We have a partnership with Swiss Patent Office, who specializes in patent research and consulting. So they are very specialized in, specific technology curved out from the entire patent portfolio. So I use that autonomous driving specific group. So based on that group of the patent, I came up with this autonomous driving patent filing kind of growth chart. From, it says to 2014 to current. First, this chart starts from 2014 so that this looks kind of nice. But in fact, I had another chart which I cannot show, but that chart starts from year 2000. If you take a look at the 2000, Japan was the #1 filing autonomous driving related technology. And that was true until about 2015. 2015, US took over that position. And then US started to really invest in autonomous driving related technology until, as you can see, 2021, China took over. So I know you all know this is happening, but then from the patent perspective, also we can observe that kind of a technology growth trends in each region. And also, Germany took over Japan's position, but in 2021, but then 2022-ish, Japan took over again. So there's Japan is really doing last 1 or 2 years in terms of investing more in autonomous driving technology. So this is one chart that I wanted to show you.
Osaka-san, can we take a quick pause here for one follow-up question? Mm-hmm. Do we know why suddenly the US and China started taking off in the middle there? Is that because there was just more dollars to it, or somehow Japan had a moment of realization saying, oh, this is not going to go ahead? Do we know?
I'm sorry, which one?
In the 2017, 2018 range, okay, when US and China sort of started doing more and Japan sort of started plateauing. Do we know why that was there was a leap?
To be honest, I'm not sure. But I think there are, like U.S., their auto industry kind of like engineered. You know, they had a new like GM female CEO. She actually changed the direction of the company, and somebody who is very familiar with that, maybe, you know, I may be saying something not right, but I think U.S. Shifted around that time towards autonomous, but also that has to do maybe with the Obama administration to move the U.S. more to greener, also next generation technology advancement.
Got it.
China, of course, China is filing significant number of patents, not only this field, but also entire technology fields. Almost, you can say that the half of the world's patent is filed by Chinese. So, you know, this is just one evidence.
Very good. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting.
No. And I also have another slide, which actually shows the kind of like a relationship of OEMs and Tier 1 and partners. What I mean by that is, car is made out of, manufactured by OEMs, and then always Tier 1 provides technology. But recent years, you started to see software companies like NVIDIA or Baidu. I took many software companies from this chart, sorry, because it gets very busy. But I think this is a representation that I selected. So, so OEM development of autonomous driving technologies, of course, supported by Tier 1, like for example, like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Bosch, Continental. They do a lot of work for these OEMs. And indeed, in fact, I saw some kind of article about one time Bosch, Continental, I think it was Bosch, did advertising showing the a picture of the automotive and plotted all the technology developed by Bosch. So, example, like if the car and then like a red dot or yellow dot something, and then you can obviously show that the car is made by Bosch, not by BMW, for example. So immediately when right after that advertisement came out, the president of the OEM called Bosch and asked for takeoff. So I'm sharing this is just because of the fact that who is really building the car? In this context, we have a newcomers who are NVIDIA. Example here I'm using is NVIDIA. They formed a partnership with Mercedes-Benz back in 2016. And if you see this, I have to explain this chart. The x-axis is number of patents. So if you go towards right, you see Toyota there. Toyota has almost like a 1,900 patents related to this technology. The y-axis is the quality of the technology. That we have a way of measuring the quality, but then we don't, with the interest of time, I do not get into that, but consider that the y-axis is at quality. So NVIDIA, for example, has a very significant quality that is providing Mercedes-Benz currently in autonomous driving technology development, for example. So same for Baidu. I understand that the Baidu is doing business with Ford. So not just tier one, developing very high technology, but also newcomers are really changing the landscape of autonomous or self-serving driving technology. So this is, again, not the map of the market. This is the map of the technology out there that you can actually observe and then take a look at. So
This is really, really interesting. I have so many follow-ups, but I'll let you finish.
Can I add one thing?
Please.
You initially asked me about the Tesla's vertical integration. So you see Tesla, they have high quality patents, but not many patents. Then your question was, will OEMs will move to vertical integration like Tesla is doing? And my answer is, I don't think so. Because Tesla itself cannot develop such a high quality technology. You have to partner with companies like NVIDIA or, of course, TDK. So I don't think Tesla is going to is continue to be vertical integration, but then I think that is just it. I think the growth comes from this new ecosystem or new partnership model of the OEM and tier one and also new software technology companies.
Maybe it's a follow-up for Kato-san because you guys are using open source. How do you see this data flowing in?
Yeah, this also really interesting. So commercial vehicles and passenger cars kind of different storylines, but for passenger cars, right now number of patents, everybody thinks that's one of key performance indicators. But like Tesla, even though they have few patents, since they have vertical integration, they actually don't really need so many patents because they have everything in-house. But again, if you want to scale out, still you need partners like to make global expansion. So I think it also depends on the business strategy because Tesla is not going to sell, 10 million vehicles per year. But if you want to go really mass production, then actually you need partnership to scale up because your customers may have some constraints in, hey, I don't want to use that SoC, so you have to choose other SoCs. So it also depends.
I suppose this is a new business platform, I think. Mm-hmm. Tesla
Yes.
has a new business platform
Yes.
to gather the best practice from the world and to construct.
But then that's internal only. Internal.
But I think definitely we all agree that this industry is going to be a service-based industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's going to be new experiences, new services, new business models that needs to come together.
Right.
And
That's also where the software comes.
and that's where the heart lies, and the value capture is probably the most important thing that I think from this discussion we can glean. Thank you for sharing your insights.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We should move ahead to Kitazaki-san.
Yes.
And your expertise is in the human-machine interface space. Mm-hmm. So your question is going to be in that direction. How should the future of flexible driver assistance systems be designed? for elderly people, for maybe less experienced drivers, or drivers like me who fall asleep constantly, who are not very good drivers generally? What would be your feedback here?
Okay, thanks, Daniel. I'm going to talk about a small concept that came across in my mind some years ago. Before explaining about it, it is known that crash rates of drivers in different ages show U-curve. That is quite common in many countries, including Japan and the US. The U-curve includes the higher crash rates of younger drivers and older drivers. The mechanism of the high crash rates are different for younger drivers and older drivers. Probably the lack of experience is the main reason for the high crash rate of younger drivers, whereas the declined physical and cognitive ability are the primary reason for the high crash rate of older drivers. Anu mentioned flexibility of driver assistance systems. I interpreted it as adaptability of the system to individual drivers. And today I'm going to focus on older drivers. Systems like those warn the driver for the apparent crash risk. Also, systems such as AEB, Automatic Emergency Braking System, and LDP, Lane Departure Prevention System, control the vehicle to avoid crash or mitigate a crash. These systems are called active safety systems as a part of driver assistance systems. So the active safety systems are expected and have been proven to be effective to reduce crash risk or mitigate crashes of drivers in all generations. However, considering the slow response of older people, such systems can be adjusted more to older drivers, resulting in more effectiveness in safety. An example is to adjust a warning system to go off earlier with larger intensity than normal setting. Unfortunately, the current driver assistance systems or active safety systems are not designed as adjustable, but it is not technically very difficult. The challenge is how the system can be adjusted to individual driver. So research is necessary to investigate a method to diagnose the response time of individual driver. The diagnostic method needs to be simple, such as computer-based program to measure response time, or even on the paper test. When considering the practical use in, for example, dealer shops, using adjustable active systems and diagnostic method, all the drivers can use more personally fitted systems with maximized safety benefit. Automatic adjustment may be possible by designing the system to learn the response time of the driver in the normal driving conditions, then change the parameters for the active safety systems for critical situations. But I prefer the combination of product and service, because I hope and expect that such system will be perceived by customer users as tailor-made system, tuned especially for you. So to conclude, evolution of active safety systems is the key to further reduction of the number of road crashes one of the evolution scenarios is user adaptive driver assistance system or flexible driver assistance system, especially for safety of older drivers. That's all.
Thank you very much. Maybe one follow-up question
Yeah.
there is, do you feel that there will be assistance required at some point or for different drivers? Or do you feel that at some point level 4 and 5 just becomes so ubiquitous that you wouldn't even need the customization?
Well, the level 4 and level 5 are the systems which works without the limited engagement of the driver. So rather than they are automated driving rather than driver support systems. But as Asami-san mentioned, I also personally like driving for excitement and just for driving pleasure. So those kind of customer will remain, I hope, in the future. But driving pleasure should be provided with safety, perfect safety, and then the driver assistant system or evolved driver assistance system, as I mentioned, or as Nissan's developing, that will be the key for more excitement of driving with more enhanced safety.
And that brings us perfectly to the time, because I also like driving for
you
fun.
do? Okay.
Yes. However, I do fall asleep in the nights.
Okay.
So I need both products, as you mentioned. That said, it would be good to take some audience questions at this point. To Kato-san, recently Tier 4 joined Honhai project. Could you tell me more? That's the question.
Okay, yeah. So just to align the information, so Honhai is a manufacturing company, which is the largest iPhone manufacturer. And they recently, so iPhone production, still big, but it's not so profitable. So they actually not changed, they also expanded their capability to EV manufacturing. That being said, it's still 2 years. It's very difficult to complete the system. So Honhai is very fast. That being said, still need time to make it matured. But what is very interesting in this community is already 3,000 companies are working together. So from startup point of view, this is amazing, because if we provide some core software, now no marketing expenses, just join there. But 3,000, main players, they know Tier 4. So that's a really kind of good community for all of us to go for can open EV or software-defined vehicles. And I believe soon in the future, there will be some blueprint. But to go for mass production, I would say still takes some time, but it's a Honhai. So they may have some, fastest method that they have in their in-house solution. But from my point of view, still takes some time for mass production.
Thank you. Maybe another question for you, next one, is which is the most important, hardware or software or regulation?
So my answer, none of them. So the only customers care about is quality, cost, and delivery. So it could be hardware, could be software, or could be kind of regulation, but something that prevent QCD to be addressed, then that's the most important factor. So really depends on kind of your asset. If your pain point is hardware, then of course hardware. But there is no kind of priority. But what I can say in the market trend is vehicle or mobility is getting more software defined. But this doesn't mean software is more important than hardware. Software defined means your hardware capability can be changed or parametric to the software existence. So you can tell everything is important, but look at your QCD, then what is lacking for the QCD is your pain point.
Well said, and I agree with your answer. Next question is from James. Thank you, James. How frightening should auto insurers be of reduced accidents? Embedded insurance by Nissan? ? And a smiley face. Who wants to take this question?
So yeah, we actually also provide insurance for L4, level 4. You can tell number of accidents getting reduced. You could say you don't have to pay, but still from user perspective, you still want to buy insurance because technology is not 100%.
Yeah.
So you can control the risk and kind of payment capability. That's insurance, right? So if accident frequently happens, the insurance is more expensive. But this is all about how you control the cost and the payment capability. So if number of accidents reduced, then you could say, okay, you're lucky because you don't have to pay. Instead, you can still reach the customers to pay or subscribe to some insurance. So if accident happens more, then you have to pay more from insurance point of view.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of trade-off.
Yeah, I guess in a place like Boston, it's very difficult to, where I live, very difficult to reduce completely the accidents because of the amount of snow.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always going to be business for insurance people, for sure. Next question is coming from another anonymous attendee. To all, as we move to autonomous driving and see different players taking the lead, how do you see value capture changing in the automotive industry? That is, who is making the most profit? $1 billion question.
Yeah, I
All right.
I answer first. Yeah, I think that for Japanese companies, it is a weakness to make a de facto standard. I suppose the winner could be to make a de facto standard. This is one. The second is the winner could be to build new ecosystem. This is very important from the commercial vehicle point of view. So I show you just one example of the Namie-machi, but so the Japan is the first runner of the social big three problems. But if we recognize those are the problem, we cannot change the society. This is a big opportunity for us to solve the problem. I think that such kind of mindset change will be needed. So my answer is de facto standard and to change the ecosystem based on facing such a big problem. This is my answer. Okay.
Thank you, Kamaran. Maybe we'll ask the last question before I reserve the question for myself. To Kitazaki-san,
Yes?
would be good to know about driving skills in the diagnostic system. Such a tailored technology should be preset to the car. Is it easily done for a finished car? It's a good question.
Preset? Well, as I said, the current systems are not designed adjustable. So if the manufacturer and the suppliers believe that that will be valuable to users and also to valuable to the providers, manufacturers and suppliers, it is possible. But as I said, the diagnostic system, it is possible to do everything in a car, but I don't know, my expectation is that the product is given to the customer with good service. The good service is the tailor-made, especially for you. So I personally prefer the doing everything in a car and preset the systems. I prefer to provide the product and the service separately. So that's my idea or concept.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Japan has led the transformation of mobility even before we called it mobility transformation, before the world knew about it. Bullet trains, automotive components, and advanced manufacturing are three that come to mind. I'm sure there are many. In the next 10 years, where do you think, panelists, Japan will make the most impactful global innovation in one sentence? Kato-san.
One sentence.
One sentence is all you're allowed.
So we may want to have manufacturing capability to be more software-defined so that we can maximize the strength of manufacturing capability. So that's what TIA4 wants to do.
Fabulous. Thank you. Nakayama-san.
We change the mindset. We don't stick to the past success. We jump into the new sea. This is a winning point, I think.
Love it. Thank you. Kitazaki-san.
Okay. The aging society and the lack of the professional drivers for public transport is a serious problem. It's really we need to solve the problem immediately. So considering such critical situation of the society of Japan, we need to really accelerate innovation and mobility. So I hope that Japan will lead this world to solve the social problems as soon as possible.
I hope so too. Thank you. Osaka-san, last word.
Last one. So I start with a very general statement: be innovative. What I mean by that is, if you really want to be, if you really are innovative, you actually have to deal with many different ideas and opinions and way of doing. And then in order to make that into work all together, innovation is necessary.
Thank you, Osaka-san. We're out of time. This has been very enlightening. On behalf of TDK Ventures, I thank all of you for your participation. We put a lot of information, a lot of ideas, possibilities. I dare say the future looks bright. That does it from Tokyo. Thank you to all you attendees from around the world for joining us and taking part in today's sessions. TDK Ventures DX Week continues in the next 2 days from Bengaluru, India, when the topic will be Industry 5.0. We hope you can join us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.